Hello everyone, I'm Sarah and welcome to my channel, Nature Connection, Art and Astrology. So here we are today and we're going to take a look at the chart of the summer solstice of 2023, which is when the sun is at its highest in the Northern Hemisphere. And the reason I like to look at the solstice chart, both for the summer and the winter, is that it sort of strikes a tuning fork for the next 3 months, for the next quarter of the year, for the next season of summer. And because I see astrology as very much connected to nature and the rhythms of the earth traveling through the universe, and the interconnectedness between the two, the solstices and the equinoxes actually are really important energy points during the year that can give us a heads up, some insight into what's coming next and how we can work with the energies to the best of their ability. And so here today we see the sun ingressed at 0 degrees of Cancer, and this chart is set for Penzance in England, where I am, but you can adjust it to your location on the planet. The sun in Cancer, the sun's ingress into Cancer every year marks the summer solstice, and Cancer is the energy of the Great Mother, the healer, the psychotherapist. Cancer is very nurturing and it has a very rich inner life, an imagination. It's also connected to self-care, so not just caring for others, but very much connecting in with how we're feeling and then taking any actions that we need to care for ourselves. And now Cancer is the first water sign of the zodiac, and it's the first time that we come in the journey of the signs that we come into connecting with our inner life in a really significant way. And it's a cardinal sign. It initiates things, just like it initiates this summer season, but in a kind of cautious way and from an inner place of connection. How are we feeling? And it's also a feminine sign, so that if we think of it as the energy of yin in Chinese and Taoist philosophy, that is to do with the receptivity. And so hence Cancer is also very sensitive. Anything that goes on in the home, in the family, in your home country, that can really impact anybody with Cancerian energy strongly in their natal chart significantly. So because Cancer is ruled by the moon, it is also connected with a tidal movement and if you think of how the sea moves in and moves out, there's something about the Cancerian energy that moves in its cardinal way, depending on what its feelings are. So, Cancer can go from, being quite strong and defensive and safe inside its protected shell, to then feeling very vulnerable and sensitive and cautious and hiding under a rock. If you think of the seashore where most crabs live. to work with the best of the ability of that Cancerian energy is really to allow emotions to wash through us, to not maybe act from them, to not analyze them or think them, but just sit with them and let the tidal wave of emotion pass through. And really, that's the first step of any healing that we go through, hence why it's associated with the psychotherapist, because as a therapist, there's very much the role of just holding the space, like the crab's shell, to feel safe enough to just connect in with your inner life, your inner emotional waves, any dreams as well that, might connect you with some deeper, stronger movements, undercurrents. And so, at this time, we're moving into the summer where it's really about sitting with ourselves, feeling ourselves, letting ourselves be cared for and nurtured. And if we feel like, hiding under the duvet or having a really soothing hot chocolate, or if we feel that we need somebody to listen to us and hold space for us, it's really about how can we care for ourselves at this time of the year, so that we don't become washed away by emotions, and we don't go into just hiding away all the time, that we can come out when we've nurtured ourselves to participate in life. Another downside of Cancer is that it can go into overcaring for others. So rather than connecting in with itself, because it's so good at taking care of other people, it goes into overcaring for others. And that can also be a distraction from sitting with what's actually going on for us emotionally. So, this is the main focus here with the sun, as always. The sun is the center of the universe, or in our galaxy anyway. And, really making the most of that lovely mothering energy, holding ourselves, tenderness, gentleness, love, warmth, all those best of the mothering archetype. And in a lovely way, actually, this sun, as you can see here with this green line and this blue line, connects in with our nodal axis at this time. So the nodal axis is about where we're going as a collective, the south node representing what we're releasing, and the north node representing where we're sort of heading. And the Cancer here, Cancer energy, by sitting with our emotions, by being our best mother to ourselves, can really aid this process that's going on here between Scorpio, releasing any past traumas with Scorpio, any wounds of intimacy, or vulnerability around death, and actually quite dark matters with Scorpio, of letting those go, sitting with those emotions, Cancer, and then being able to go, actually, you know what, I'm done with that I've felt that now, and it's allowed to fall away, to float away, to be released. In order to, at the north node in Taurus here, we can feel stable, secure, particularly in the material realm. We have enough that we don't have to worry about resources, money, food, all those Taurian things. And And that in turn allows us to have a greater sense of self-worth, to simply be our animal selves, sniff around in nature, walk in the grass with a sense of peace and presence. Taurus is very much about the body connection and feeling comfortable in our own skin. And so with this beautiful helping aspect from the sun with the trine and the sextile, this can really be facilitated at this time, especially as you can see how there are 2 degrees and the nodal axis moves backwards. We're soon going to finish off with this combination of Scorpio and Taurus on the nodal axis, and then we're going to have a new chapter. So for me, this feels very much like, okay, we've come to the end of this releasing, moving forward chapter, and we're having the graduating sort of energy with the sun helping us at this time. So that's, a lovely piece. And at the same time, we very much have this team Leo over here. And as you can see, the sun is in Leo. Sorry, the moon is in Leo, the sun is in Cancer. And because Cancer is ruled by the moon and Leo is ruled by the sun, there's what's called a mutual reception between the two, where, they're very much helping each other. And, if you look at the similarities between Leo and Cancer, you have Leo being the masculine sign and Cancer being the feminine sign. But what they sort of share is very much this connection of coming from the heart. Cancer feels inwardly what's going on inside emotionally. Leo shines that authentic perception outwardly and says, this makes me feel good. This is how I want to express myself and share myself through shining my light. And Leo is very playful, it's very creative, and it has a sense of authority, being ruled by the sun, being the king of the animal world as the lion. And I like that image of the lion for Leo, because it often sits there, until it's ready to do something. It's very much just in its power, in the sun, enjoying life, and in its own good time it will move, but it would never move on anybody else's authority. And this is, where we really connect in with our heart as well with Leo. How can we connect in with what's authentic to us and then express that outwardly, saying, this is who I am in my heart.